The hardest question you're going to find as you try to set your goals is going to be this: what do you want? So here's the thing. I've attended a couple of workshops for goal setting. Sometimes I work you where you pay like some premium money. Premium money is, I mean that you're like on the edge of this is too much to pay, but also within somewhere where I can say it's worth it as well. So I've paid some premium money a couple of times, and you get to a workshop session and they're asking you these teeny bit questions, and this is the hardest one I've found. What do you want? And my experience with the same question is, after you've had difficulty answering this question and you think it's very, very tiny and small, the best thing I've found as a revenge mechanism during some sessions I've done with my friends is to ask them the same question, like, what do you want? And this is what has happened. In my experience, I found that not so many people actually do have an answer for this. But when I think about it, when a person asks you the question, the difficulty that comes with answering it is this. When a person asks you, what do you want? They're asking you for like a one-liner or a short thing, but then you know within yourself that your experience of life is this much and it's multidimensional, meaning that you have your health, maybe your career, your finances, your spirituality, maybe a couple of areas that are all distinct, and someone is asking you for a one-liner that encapsulates a multidimensional experience of life. So I also found the difficult part about it comes to that. So the solution comes to this: if you're able to split up your explanation into two dimensions, you actually can get a definite answer. And then the only other thing that I've found as well that comes close to giving difficulty to coming up with that criteria, what do you want, is this. It's like flip logic as well. Choosing the goals or setting the goals means that you've chosen your criteria for failure and of success in the same breath, because life is binary. Nothing lives in its existence with just only one side. If you choose the goal, you've chosen the criteria for failure. So sometimes the person is like, why should I choose the goal? I would rather live without knowing. And very many actually people do that. And in some books they call it drifting, meaning you just wake up and show up and things just happen by themselves. But a person who is very intentional then has figures. You know the numbers, you know it's something you can track, you know that you can actually be working towards this. And when you don't get it, you haven't hit the goal. So that's one of the things that I've seen. So the first one has been answering the question. The second one I've seen is setting the goals becomes a criteria for failure as well. And then the solution that I've seen as well here is that coming up with the goal and defining that area. The tricky part about the failure part is that your job is to come up with a first sketch out a bad plan, but a bad plan that you can work towards. Because the thing is, you rather have a bad plan that you're working towards than having a perfect plan that you're not going to work towards. So if you aspire too much and then you aspire too much and don't do anything that is predictive, and then you have a person who aspires in his rough format, that first draft of desires, you had better have that and work towards that than actually thinking of this perfect picture. That is my view on it. So I think those are the things that I've seen with a part of goal setting. Actually, just this is actually like a random thing. I was actually trying to note down a couple of things I want to do this year, and then it came back to that moment because I was looking through my sketches. I was like, there's this workshop, and this was one of the hard questions. So my question to you as well is this: what do you want? Now, as a flip side, because I keep on looking at things in the flip side and its positive side. One of the other approaches that I've seen when people have difficulty in the positive side of things, they do the flip logic. So in this case, if I say, what do you want? People actually have more clarity on what they do not want. The only problem with when you clarify what do you not want, it's like which is a good thing, is like you define hell for yourself. But then what do I not want? So for example, if I say the positive part would be like What would life look like if I had the job and career track that would motivate me? Okay, that's easy to that's very positive to see. But then if you did the negative of it and say, what career track would I do that would give me misery? You actually know them. It's easier to define that than to define the positive part. The problem is that if you focus on the negative side of it, you'll find that the energy you have, like you're using negative emotions to generate this. So the concept becomes, is negative emotion a long-term strategy to build towards the things that you want, or is the positive energy and positive emotions a good driver towards the things that you want? That is how I was looking at that. And it's actually one of those things that is a maze. And one thing I've also found is, why do we wait to the end of the year, beginning of the year, to come up with goals again? I think within myself, you don't have to wait to the end of the year or beginning of a year to come up with goals. Best thing you can do for yourself is, anytime you have some goals, when you sit down to make a review, that's another opportunity to review what you've done, see what has actually worked, project forwards as well. So that is my take on goal setting, and this is just a random, just decided to jump on this as a random, just randomly, while I was actually setting my goals. I hope you got some value from this. I'm asking yourself again, last question, again, what do you want? And guess what? Are you defining it from the things you're running away from, or the things you're running away towards? Just comment down below, give some feedback on the approach you're using for your goal setting. I hope I'll be seeing you in the next video. Adios.